protocol Bird and Copycat. So without further ado, I want to introduce Daniel to you. Daniel is the CEO of Bird.money, joining us from the United States. How are you doing, Daniel?
I'm doing wonderful, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. So yeah, let's cut to the chase. Welcome, and you have 20 minutes.
Great. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here.
Yeah.
Steve, if you could just help me and let me know that you can see my Bird presentation here.
Yeah.
Great.
Looking good.
So welcome to the DoorHacks community. Definitely appreciate everyone joining today. I'd like to share an exciting project with you, Bird. My name is Daniel Stevens. I'm the CEO. I've got an amazing team behind me building the world's first machine learning decentralized analytics oracle. So I'm going to spend the first few minutes here talking to you about Bird. I'll show you some of our technology that we've completed. And then, Steve, I think you've got some questions, so we'll make sure to leave a few minutes at the end for that. So I don't think anyone on this call needs to be persuaded that blockchain and distributed ledger technology is here to stay, and it's a real trend. But I think some of the people on this call may be surprised to hear that up to 86% of businesses in the world today are already using artificial intelligence to deliver a better customer experience through AI. So we are leveraging that same trend. Bird's goal is to deliver a enhanced user experience for Web3 platforms. So the chart that we're looking at here is the growth of query volume on the graph, a Web3 querying protocol. So what is Bird? Bird is a response to the way that big tech is currently using everyone's data to develop predictive analytics products. So Google, Facebook, Twitter, some of the world's most powerful companies, they've grown to the size that they are today because they take advantage of user data and they use that information to create a customized experience for everyone that logs in on their site. One of the most important things to understand about how that model works, though, is that when Google and Twitter are using their data, they're really only able to use data that is generated on their platforms. They have limited visibility into what's happening on other platforms that users visit. Well, with blockchain, that's no longer the case. Blockchain allows us to connect data from all the different platforms that a given user visits. So this chart here is meant to show you how powerful data mining user data can be for a blockchain business versus a traditional tech business. So Bird is developing tools that will take advantage of all of the data on the blockchain ecosystem, which puts it at a major advantage versus some of the legacy tech companies that are building similar tools. So the other trend that Bird's taking advantage of right now is the fact that users are starting to realize that their data is important, whether for privacy concerns or because it's worth a fair bit of money to people that have the skills to use it for predictive modeling and machine learning. So we have lots of companies out there that are taking advantage of this particular trend. So Brave is an internet browser that is based on blockchain technology, and that's growing wildly. It's grown 28x its user base in the last 16 months. And DuckDuckGo is another browser that's privacy-centric. It is now the second most popular browser for mobile searches in the United States. So we take this and we believe that this shows that users are starting to demand that platforms treat their data with greater respect, either by not sharing it with people or by ensuring that, if it's used, users are fairly compensated for being able to use that data. And in a nutshell, that's why Bird exists. We believe that the data mining industry is here to stay. It provides businesses and people with really important insights that can help them run their businesses more efficiently and solve problems more quickly. But what we do think is wrong with this industry is that users don't have enough control, and they're not rewarded with incentives properly. So that's what Bird's here to fix. We want to rebuild this powerful industry in the Web3 platforms in a way that shares the rights and responsibilities with users and gives them control back over these powerful algorithms. So what does the ecosystem of Bird look like? It's a bit complicated. There's a lot of moving parts, but if we walk through this slide step by step, I think everyone will understand why Bird needs to exist and what problems we're trying to solve. So like in a Web2 ecosystem, everything starts with the users. So I'm not sure if you guys can see my highlighting here, but ultimately users on the platform are what generate the data that are needed to build these machine learning models. So one of the things that Bird is doing that's unique is we are incentivizing people to participate in the platform itself. So we will provide rewards for users that generate data on the platform, that do quality control activities on that data on the platform, and various other things. So this is sort of step one in making sure that users are part of the process and not just seen as a source for data and that's it. And that's a really important distinction. By making sure that users are part of the process and not simply just inputs to that process, we create a relationship with our users that is much more positive. And if anyone's been watching the news lately, companies like Google and Facebook are starting to get pressure from lawmakers and from individuals because those companies have gotten so big and we have no control over them at this point. That brings me to probably the most important differentiating factor of Bird, and that's that governance and profits will be shared with our user base. That's how we make sure that people have the ability to influence the way these powerful algorithms are developed, and that the folks that are creating the data that we need, they have the proper incentives to do so. I like to use the analogy that if a car maker didn't have to pay the miners that would pull steel out of the ground to build their cars, we would have a similar situation here in Web 2. When I create data on the platform for Google's engineers to use, I'm not provided any compensation for that work that I've done. Bird wants to change that. So this is essentially our overall model. We create an ecosystem where users provide data, they take care of that data, and they play a part in the process of turning that data into predictive models that are useful to Bird's customers. So Bird is focusing on 4 different products initially. We are building a product for launchpads. So that will be a set of machine learning tools that will tell launchpad developers something about the investors that are connecting to their platform to make IDO purchases. So for example, you can imagine that if an investor that tends to hold their tokens for a really long time comes to connect to a platform to make a purchase, you would want to offer them really good investment terms to attract them to your project, versus somebody who maybe doesn't hold their tokens for a very long time or is kind of a classic pump and dump type investor, because those guys are not as valuable to projects. So by using our Launchpad score, a Launchpad product can create a pricing routine that changes for every connected wallet. So if you're a high risk investor, for example, maybe you are given a 25 cent purchase price, versus if you're a low risk investor, maybe your purchase price is better than that. So the next product that we're developing is one that we're really excited about. We're developing a series of products for the gaming industry. Through talking with some of our partners here in the Binance Incubator program, and also some of Bird's other partners, we've come to understand that there are a lot of opportunities in customer acquisition for gaming platforms. Gaming platforms tend to have a very short monetization life cycle. So it's really important that games are able to attract the most active players very quickly after they launch. And so Bird's machine learning products, we can scan the blockchain and understand how active a given wallet is in the gaming community and provide that information to platform developers for them to use in their marketing. So that our Bird gaming score is going to be something that I think is very valuable to the fast growing gaming community. And it's one that our team's really excited about. The next two products that we are developing are for credit, so DeFi lending, and for e-commerce. So for DeFi lending, I think a lot of you guys might be familiar with our work in this space because it's one of the areas that we dove into first. But simply put, we believe that not all borrowers are created equal. And so when you connect to a lending platform, your unique risk characteristics should be taken into account when you're issuing that loan. So for example, if you are a very low risk borrower, perhaps your collateral limits can be increased to allow you greater access to capital because you're a lower risk borrower, or your APY perhaps could be lower to incentivize better borrowers to use this platform. So I think DeFi credit is something that's going to drive a lot of product innovation in the space, and Bird is very excited to be able to play a part in that process. The last area that we have identified and are developing products for is e-commerce. So I'd like to use the example of shopping.io. I'm definitely not picking on them because what they've built is really impressive. But if you connect your wallet to shopping.io and you have a wallet that has $1 million in it, and you connect another one that has nothing in it, you'll get the exact same search results. And so you have to ask yourself the question, should we be providing search results that are at least tailored to the connected wallet's, net income? If you've got a millionaire, do you want to show them a $5 watch or do you want to show them a $6,000 watch? So we believe that our Bird e-commerce scoring products can help blockchain e-commerce platforms improve conversions and profitability. So those are the 4 products that we are building right now. I'm going to skip over this slide because I think for the most part, folks understand, how an Oracle works. On the left side, we're taking in data. It gets analyzed by our Oracle analytics engine. The data is recorded in our Oracle, and then it's retrievable by all the consumers of that data, like launchpads and lending platforms and the like. So I think one of the things that makes Bird really unique is we're one of the only companies in crypto that has a plan to develop revenue out of the Web2 ecosystem. So obviously our Oracle is designed for Web3 partners that would like to retrieve our products in an open and permissionless, mutable way. But we believe that there's actually going to be quite a lot of legacy tech business that wants to break into the Web3 environment, but needs additional information to do that efficiently. So you can imagine, say, a major legacy tech company that wants to do an airdrop, for example. Well, they can use our standard API service to score all of the airdrop wallets and make sure that they're sending tokens to the wallets that have characteristics that are in the best interest of the project. So you can run much more optimized market penetration activities using our Web2 API service. So I think that's something really exciting about Bird. We are developing revenue pipelines out of both Web3 and the Web2 ecosystems. So this is a bit about our roadmap. This is out on the internet right now on our website. So I'm going to go ahead and skip this in the interest of time and just talk a little bit about our team. And then we'll take a quick look at the website. And then, Steve, I'll hand it over to you if you want to ask some questions. So our team is at this point about 18 strong. We are really proud to say that almost everyone on our team has been hired organically through the community. We are mostly all technical. Even several of our mods are Python developers. So we are researchers at heart. Our data science team is growing very quickly. We're very fortunate to have some really talented folks on our team. Ron Pearson has multiple degrees from MIT, has published over 200 papers, 6 textbooks, He's absolute brilliant data scientist. Lihan Yao is a contractor with the U.S. Department of Defense, has trained in data science in Hungary, one of the most important centers of mathematics in the world. So we're very fortunate to have an awesome team behind us. And now I'm very quickly going to just jump over to our website, which I encourage everyone to do, and take a quick look at some of our apps. So we have 4 apps that are live today. We have a bridge app, which allows you to transfer your tokens from the BSC chain to Ethereum and back. And this is something that we develop in-house. We have our Oracle Analytics app, which allows people to see their wallet analytics. We have obviously our lending app, which has been live for some time. And then we have our analytics NFT, which is the world's first NFT that, when minted, actually takes into account your unique wallet history. So we'll take a quick look at some of this stuff. I'm not going to execute any transactions just because we don't have a ton of time. But this is our ETH to BSC bridge. Again, something that we built in-house. We're very proud of. Our Oracle Analytics dashboard. Let's see if I can quickly connect to this. There should be some live data in here. So this is an example of a dashboard that we built that shows our bird rating on our Oracle Analytics dashboard. And then our lending app. And all of this stuff is live. You're welcome to go out there and try it. Our lending app works on BSC and on Ethereum. And then the last would be our analytics NFT. And so right now we have minting available on Solana and Ethereum, and we are launching on BSC shortly. So Steve, at this point, I know we're running low on time, so I'll stop my screen share. And I think you said that you may have some questions for us.
Yep. Thank you, Daniel, for the presentation. Love your very advanced prediction products. The thing you're trying to do, actually solving the problems the Web2 companies cannot solve. Actually, like they really didn't do a great job on. So love your product. So we're in bit running out of time, but what are your what are the key next steps for Bird, like in the next 3 months? What are you guys up to?
Yeah, so the biggest next step for us right now is launching our first go to live product. So our launchpad product has been under development for a couple of months now, and we're getting very close to being able to release the first version of that. And so we've got several launchpads that are signed up and ready to integrate it when it goes live, and we're working hard to finish that up, at least the first version of it, by the end of the incubator program in a couple of weeks. So team's really close, and I'm really excited to see the progress.
Awesome. Cool. So I do encourage you all to visit Bird's website and to try out their products, join their community. Actually, this project's been launched for a while, but I can tell that Daniel and his team are very product driven. They're very proud of their product, and they're trying to scale the possibilities to many different aspects, different industries. So gaming is also very exciting. So I do recommend you to check their products, check their introduction on HackerLink platform. You can go to their page. If you really like Daniel's presentation today, if you really like Bird, you can support them by showing love, contribute, donate, and support Bird, since Bird is still a very early stage project. And thank you, Daniel, for joining us today.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you having us.
For sure. Looking forward to meet you again in 2 weeks at the final demo day.
Yep.